Welcome back to the channel, guys. Let me be straight up with you. I'm overcome with emotions right now. We were on a webinar with the Babes Mastermind today, and it was inspirational. It was touching. It was moving. During the webinar, a lot of amazing things were going on, and new people and recognition, and it was a beautiful thing. Learning and earning and so forth. But during the webinar, there was a portion where Asia Love was talking, and she's seeing the growth in people, and she started to get emotional. And I heard that sound in her voice. You could tell she was just about to cry, and you could feel that emotion, and that's how it's real, because you can just feel it. You can feel that energy, and I'm driving in my truck, and normally I'm on the webinar and being real interactive, but I'm on the highway right now, and I got a lot of people around me, and I needed to pay attention, but I'm also watching the webinar and listening to the webinar at the same time, and I nearly got tears in my eyes, and it's a beautiful thing because it's real, and it wasn't until after this webinar ended, and I'm processing all this information, and the tone in her voice, it really triggered this memory that I have, and I felt that it was important to share with you guys. It's about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I went to this bank that I bank with for my company, and I'm always working, so that's why you guys always see me in my all-weather exteriors gear, because I'm trying to multitask at the same time, trying to give you amazing content that lets you know that I care about you guys and the community, and at the same time I got obligations, so it's all about time management anyway. So I go to this bank all the time, and I'm there all the time with deposits and banking needs and stuff like that. I mean, they know who I am. When I walk in, everybody knows me. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I'm in there, and there's a crazy line out the door, and there's about 8-10 people in front of me, and it's usually never that bad. And as I'm making my way in the door, and I'm waiting in line forever, there's this gentleman there, and he's got this little girl, and this little girl is a baby, and she's I don't know, maybe 3-4 months old. And he's holding her, and he's got her, and and I can tell this guy's been upset for a hot minute. And you can kind of hear his story, and I can tell he's been there for a while, because the line's out the door, right? And basically what happened is the guy's account got hacked, and they took all of his money out of his account. Now, I can hear in his voice, that basically he went to go get gas, and he was on empty, and he had literally nothing in his account, and he couldn't understand why, and that's why he came to the bank. And I understand how he felt, because I actually just went through the same thing a couple of weeks ago with the same bank, having the same problem, which is most likely from the same people. Anyways, he's talking about how he can't really leave the parking lot. He doesn't know what he's going to do. And the bankers are trying to do everything they can, but the actual bankers themselves, not just the tellers behind the window, they're all booked up for the day. They've been super booked up. They're dealing with all these kinds of things, like they just got hit real hard, and they're letting him know that his money's insured, but he needs his money now. Anyways, it takes me about 15-20 minutes, and kind of keep an eye on him, and he's out there with his little girl, and this guy ain't no little guy. He's like 6'4", maybe 350, and he seems like a straight up dude. So anyways, I can tell he's super upset, and I can tell it in his voice. And anyways, I go through the whole bank, and I do all my banking and stuff, and of course, I'm like, yeah, I'll take a few $100s or whatever out of the bank, and just throw it in an envelope for me. So I go out the bank, and I see him out there with his daughter, and I said, hey. I introduced myself. I asked him his name, and he told me, and I said, hey, I understand how you feel right now, because the bank, I just went through the same thing, and it took me over a month to get my money back. And in my case, they took an account where I had nearly 20 racks stolen from my account, but he had like a little over $400 stolen from his account. And in the grand scheme of things, they actually took more from him than they actually took from me, because they took everything of his. So I get talking to him for a little bit, and I find out that he is just, quit his job with him and his wife, and they're moving to Dover, New Hampshire, and they're moving there to be traveling nurses. That he was working for another company, and they both decided to be able to travel, and they get to basically move to an area and help those people for 6 months to a year, and then they're going to get reassigned somewhere else. And he wanted to do this now because it would just kind of be a pay increase, and things are already so tight. So this was on the 31st of the month, and he had everything in his car all packed up. And in the bank, he was talking about how he's moving, that tonight was the night that they were supposed to stay in a hotel, because they can't move into their apartment until the 1st, because the other people that they're moving into have to the end of the night to get out, so he's out there in the parking lot, and I can see he's distressed. So I start having conversations with him, and I'm finding out all this information about him. And I'm just, the moment I walked in that bank, I already had that overwhelming feeling that something was going to happen. And, and I was out there talking to him, and I was talking about his daughter, and, I was talking about him, and I told him everything's going to be okay. And, that don't you worry, just keep that faith. And, he was having a hard time seeing it while he was nearly in tears, And this little girl is just in his car there, and the car is just loaded full, and his wife is working, and, there's nothing he can really do. And so so I talked to him for a little while, and, I told him, everything was going to be okay. And I just had this envelope full of money, and I handed it to him, and of course, apologize. And of course, he doesn't want to accept it because he doesn't feel like he deserves it, and I sit there and I talk to him, and I let him know that it's not coming from me, bro. This is God's doing. It ain't coming from me, bro. I'm like, I feel compelled. This is the right thing to do, And I hand him this money, and he just feels that it's a wad, and he just has that tone in his voice, and he had that same breaking up sound that Asia made today. And it was just like he this huge, grown man, awesome guy. And I'm like, everything's gonna be all right, brother. And he comes out, and I just get him out this car, and I'm giving the stranger a hug, and it's like a real one. And after, everything, and everything's all set, and I'm walking away, and my truck's like a little ways away from where he was parked, and, he's coming out, and he's like, man, this is way too much, and everything else. And, I told him not to worry, that, the only worry you need to have is that little girl, that this money means nothing, and that little girl means everything, and that you're a good father, and it's not your fault that something happened to you. And that man had tears in his eyes. To this day, I've only said this story to one other time, when there was a tear-jerking moment, and happened to be with people from the Mom Squad that I put a video out about, friends and stuff. And they were talking about how somebody did something, and everybody started opening up about a story. And I told this, and some of my friends were nearly in tears. Anyways, I wanted to share that story with you, because it's just bigger than just affiliate marketing. It's just bigger than making money. It's about making a difference in your lives and your lifestyle, and it's about being able to be there for yourselves and others. And the community here is so supportive. It's it's a different vibe than what most people are used to, and if you're the kind of person that if somebody took your money, and to put this into perspective, they had taken all their first months, last months, and everything to put down on this place, and they paid all their car payments and all of their bills, and he had less than $400 in his bank account, and all he needed to do was get through This is on a Thursday, and all he needed to do was get through that one day. Just make it that one day, because the next day was payday. And then everything would have been fine. They would have been all set. So you just never know when that feeling is going to happen, and it just kind of overtakes you. And you never know what difference you can make in a person's life. And I can tell you that guy is thankful to this day. And his daughter went to stay in a nice hotel room and not sleeping outside while it was cold in the car, because they had nothing else and no other way of doing anything. And they didn't live up here. They were just been up here for years. They didn't grow up here. So they didn't really have anybody but themselves. So I mentioned all that to mention this, is if you're in a situation where your last $400 was to leave the bank and you don't have anybody else or nothing to do, then you have time on your hands, and you ain't got nothing to lose. What's amazing about this is anybody can become an affiliate for free for sharing a digital link. And somebody eventually one day is going to say, hey, I really am interested in everything that you're doing, because I'm seeing all this results, and I see all these other people online, and I see that's a part of a community and a culture and so forth. And eventually that free affiliate link is going to pay off, and it can make a real big difference in someone's life. So if you ever found yourself in that situation, or if you're in that situation right now, and somebody was to steal that money out your bank, what you gonna do? You owe it to yourself to learn something new. You owe it to yourself, your family, to try to step out your comfort zone, to have some sort of a backup plan. And that's why this, what we're doing here, being affiliate marketing, is it's not necessarily trying to sell people stuff. It's just giving people opportunity to offer amazing products that people already want, that people already need. People in different, different needs, whether it's a business need, and through the OnlineBusiness.App software, the all-in-one business software, or it's a thing where people really love the Web3 and the digital, or someone just straight up loves something off the marketplace, like that sexy nerds gear or something like that. But eventually somebody is going to say, hey, that's cool, I want that. And all that, time that you invested in yourself is going to pay off. So I just want to share those thoughts with you, and I don't want to keep on rambling, but it's bigger than you and me. I apologize, my phone died, or it shut itself off. I hit some sort of max limit or something on it, but I appreciate your time, and just let that sink in. Stay blessed, y'all. The blessings are out there. They're right in front of you. Sometimes you just don't want to take advantage of them, whether you understand them or not. So take action, and don't push away a blessing, right? Because they can't give you a blessing. You gotta receive a blessing, and the way that you receive a blessing is when it's in front of you, is to reach your hand out, so you can put that blessing in your hand and hold it in your heart. So just want to share that with y'all. I hope you have a great night. Much love.